I escaped the war in Ukraine and moved to the Philippines. Looking back, I never expected my life to turn out like this. I remember the night everything collapsed in my city. I was sitting in the dark, the silence between sirens feeling heavier than noise. In that moment, I made a choice. I didn't want to just survive anymore. I wanted to live. Everyone warned me. They said, if you leave, you'll regret it. You won't be welcome anywhere. But there was a fire in my chest stronger than the fear outside. I didn't need a perfect plan. I just needed a direction. I packed a single bag with everything I owned and walked away from the only home I'd ever known. By what felt like a twist of destiny, that direction led me to the Philippines. It wasn't a place I had dreamed of or researched. It was almost random. At the time, I thought it was just a temporary stopper place to hide, until I figured out my next move. But the moment I stepped off that plane, the world suddenly had color again. After months of gray concrete and shaking walls, I was met with the smell of salt air, and something I hadn't seen in a long time. A genuine smile from a stranger. I was a broken person in a beautiful place, and I had no idea that this island nation was about to rebuild my soul from the ground up. Coming from a war zone, the Philippines was a shock to my system. I wasn't used to kindness without an ulterior motive. My walls were high and my trust was completely shattered. I walked through the markets looking over my shoulder, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But the Filipino people are different. They didn't push me to talk, and they didn't force me to get over it. They just existed around me with a warmth that was impossible to resist. I watched how they cared for their neighbors, how they shared food with strangers, and how they laughed even when life was hard. Slowly, the most incredible thing happened. My body began to believe I was safe before my mind did. My shoulders, which had been tight for months, finally dropped. My breathing slowed down. For the first time in forever, I slept through the night without waking up in a cold sweat. That's when I realized something profound. Peace is physical. You feel it in your bones before you can understand it in your head. In the West, we're taught that peace comes from success or stability. But here, I learned that peace comes from connection. I started to see that Filipinos don't just survive life, they share it. And as I began to open my heart, I realized I wasn't just hiding anymore. I was finally healing. When people heard I moved here, they were confused. They'd say, "You escaped a war. You should go to Canada or Germany or the US. Why the Philippines?" What they don't understand is that a broken life doesn't always need economic stability first. It needs emotional stability. The Philippines gave me that. It taught me an economic lesson that blew my mind. The cost of living here gives you your time back. In Western cities, you are always working to survive. You can have money and still have no peace. Here, the balance is different. You can live simply, eat fresh food from the market, and spend your days truly connecting with people without drowning in bills. I stopped checking the news every 10 minutes. I stopped treating war updates like poison for my brain. Instead, I started watching sunsets. I started hearing myself think again. Filipinos taught me that happiness isn't measured by what's in your bank account, but by the strength of your community. I thought I was just running away from war, but I ended up running into a version of myself I never knew existed. If you feel lost, or if every day feels like a battle for survival, maybe you're just in the wrong place. Sometimes the safest place for your heart is the one you never even considered. If you want to hear more real stories about life, healing, and the beauty of the Philippines, hit that subscribe button. Let's help the algorithm spread hope instead of fear. Because peace might be closer than you think. It's strange how life works. I spent so many months running away from the deafening noise of war, only to realize that what I truly needed was to find the gentle noise of a community. The Philippines didn't just give me a place to hide. It gave me a family of strangers who treated me like I belonged before I even knew a single word of the language. Every morning now, When I wake up to the sound of the ocean, instead of the scream of sirens, I am reminded of a simple truth. We are not meant to carry our burdens alone. This journey taught me that while war can destroy a home, it cannot destroy the human spirit's capacity to be kind. So, to anyone watching this who feels like they are sitting in the dark, don't give up on the world. There is still so much beauty left to find, and sometimes it's waiting for you on an island thousands of miles away. Thank you for walking this path with me today. If my story touched you, please hit that subscribe button and join me as I continue to rebuild and explore this beautiful life. Let's help the algorithm share hope with those who need it most. Salamat, and I'll see you in the next video.